Thanks for joining. In this session, we will learn how to connect Python with MySQL database, and we will also write programs, Python programs, to connect and manage database. That is, we'll create database, we'll create tables, and we'll try to insert some rows, and we'll try to access those rows and display through Python program. Okay, all right. Let's begin. Now, to access MySQL database from Python, first you need to have MySQL database installed in your computer. Okay, so for that, what you need to do is go to browser and search for MySQL download, and you would see a link like this, mysql.com, and in that you would see a link called MySQL downloads. Okay, so click on that, and then it will go to this home page of MySQL, and then scroll down. You would see a link called MySQL Community download. So this is a free version. If you click on this MySQL Community download, it's going to come to this page, and then here the last link, which is MySQL installer for Windows. Okay, now click on that link, and then you would see a page like this where you have option to download. So go for this first download, which is 2.4 MB. Click on this download, and once you click on this, the installer file will be downloaded into your downloads folder. Okay, and once it is downloaded in that folder, you can just double click on that particular installer file, and then click next. And once you have done with all those steps, MySQL will be installed in your computer. And to check whether it is installed successfully or not, you can just go to command prompt, cmd, and then type MySQL. Type MySQL. Once you type it, okay, I'm sorry, I think here it's not working. Other way is go to start menu and search for MySQL. So you would see something like this: MySQL command line client, MySQL workbench. All this app you would be seeing in your start menu. So if you see this option or this app, that means MySQL has been installed. So that is the first step. Okay, MySQL installation. Uh, the second step is you have to install something called MySQL Connector so that Python can connect to MySQL. For that, you have to go to this command prompt or is PowerShell, either here or you can go to CMD anywhere, and then type pip install MySQL Connector dash Python. Okay. If you give this command, it is going to install the MySQL connector package into your Python setup. Okay, so this is already there in my computer, so I am not going to press enter over here. So if you press enter, it should install. Okay, now once it is installed, we are all set to write a Python program to connect to the database. Okay. Now, third step, we are going to write program. So, first step was to download and install MySQL. Second step was to give a pip command, pip install MySQL connector Python. And third step is we are going to write the program, Python program, to connect to MySQL database. Okay. Now, for that, we need to import the connector. So, I'm going to give import MySQL dot connector. So this is the package which we need to, or module which we need to import. So I'm giving an alias name as C. Okay, so C is the alias name for the connector. And next is I'm going to create a DB instance. I'm going my DB. This could be any variable, my DB, and then I'm giving c dot connect, c.connect, and then we need to specify the details of that MySQL server where the MySQL database is. Now, in this case, it is in my own computer, so we need to mention host. Host means where the database is. It is in local host, meaning it is on this computer. If it is somewhere else, then here we have to mention the IP address or domain name. Okay, now, because it is on my in my computer, I'm giving localhost, and then I have to give user. Okay, user normally once you install that MySQL, it is going to have a default user called root, and you could set any password over there. So I have password as same as root. Uh, so now with this attributes, we should be able to connect to the MySQL database which is installed locally. Okay, now once we connect to the database, next step is we create a cursor. Cursor is again another variable or a cursor through which we can pass command to the database. So let's say I'm having a cursor here. My cursor equals my db dot cursor. This will create a cursor. Now we are all set to execute the command. Okay. Um, let's say I want to see if there is any database already into my computer. So for that, let's do one thing. Let's run a command. My cursor dot execute, and I'm giving a command called show databases. This should return all the existing database of my computer, okay, of the installation that I have just made. If there is nothing, then no database is going to appear. Now, once I execute that, now you have to just print it. So I'm giving for statement for, let's say, db in my cursor. And now if I just give print db, it should display all the current database of my computer. Okay. So now I run this command or run this program. See, I'm going to see all these databases. So these databases are already there in my computer. So it is showing all these. Okay. That is how we see the current databases. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and create a new database. To create a new database, we have to give a command called create. The SQL command is create database, and then I give my new DB. So this my new DB is the database that I'm going to create. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's run this program. So I have successfully executed the program. Now I'll go back and try to check if this database got created or not. Again, I will go and give show databases, and then I'm going to run through loop print db. Okay. Now if I run this program, and if you see the output here, I can see uh, wait, okay, I should see here my see here my new db. So my new db database got created successfully. Okay, so that was a command for to create a new database. Next time, since we know the database name is my new db, next time if you want to connect to, we can directly connect to the database. Okay, so we will add an additional parameter called database, and I can give here my new db. Now we give localhost root and then mynewDB. It will straight away go and connect to that database. Now I want to see if there are any tables in that database. That is mynewDB. Obviously there is no table, but in case if you want to make sure, you have to give a command called show tables. Show tables, and now again I'm giving a loop for t in my cursor int t. Now, if I run this command, I'm not getting any output because there is no table in that new database. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new table. Okay. To create a new table, the command is create table. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll give a command create on SQL create table. Let's say I want to give a table name as customer. So create table customer. Then I have to mention the field names or the columns that I'm going to create. So let me give here as name, and name we have to mention the type of that variable or the column. So column name is name, and I'm going to store in that text. For that I have to give varchar and the length. Varchar means this field is going to be text field which can have a maximum length of 100 characters. Okay, then I can give another field like say city, and then I can give again varchar, let's say 50. So I'm giving a maximum length of city as 50. And what else? And I can have phone. Phone I can mention as an integer, so I can give int. So that will be an integer. Do one thing instead of giving phone, let me give an ID here. So ID int. I give cust ID int. So this is an numeric field cust ID, which will be integer. So we have cust ID, name, and city. Okay, so three columns are given. So once I run this command, a new table called customer will be created with these three column names. Okay, cust ID, name, and city. Create. All right. Okay, let me run this program now. I'm running it, and it has completed successfully. So now let's go ahead and check if this table exists or not. So for that again I'll go and give show tables, and then give a loop t in my cursor and just give print t. This should show. So there's a table called customer which got created inside my new DB. So this program is straight away connecting to my new DB and displaying all the existing tables. So right now there is only one table. That is why we are getting only that table displayed as an output. Okay. So what all actions we have performed so far? We have created a new database, and in the database we have created a new table. Okay. Now third step, let's go ahead and uh, you know insert some records. Okay. Uh, so let's do something to insert records, I have to give a command called insert, a SQL called insert. So insert into the syntax, insert into and the table name. Table name is customer. The bracket I have to give the column name. Column names are ID, name, and CP. Okay, three columns we created in the table, and then give values and pass on some number. I'm giving 100 as ID, comma name. I'm giving John, and then city. Okay, I'm giving, let's say, Miami. This statement is going to create a new record, a new row in customer table, which has three columns. Okay, and once that is done, I have to commit. So I have to give my cursor dot, sorry, my db dot commit. So commit is an additional precaution that if you have given any statement by mistake, it will not go and update the table or create the table straight away. You have to give an additional step called commit. So I've given the database mydb.commit. Only once commit is given, this insert statement will actually take place. Okay. So now let's run this program. Okay, I think it was not ID, it was cust ID or something. Cust ID is what given. That's it, the program completed, and this particular row must have been inserted into the table. Okay. Now, next step is we want to make sure that the record got inserted, and we should be able to see that record. Okay. So for that, we have to give another statement called select. I can give select cust ID, comma name, comma city from customer. This is going to list all the records from this customer table. And next again I can display by giving for loop for r in my cursor, just print r. That's it. Now if I run this, see I'm going to I'm getting a display over here. So one record I inserted, and that is what is this 100 John in Miami. This record, is visible uh, for me to view. Okay. So this is how you insert a row and at the same time you view the record. Okay, let's go ahead and insert one more row. Okay. So I'm giving insert into customer first ID, comma name, comma city, and then I'm giving values and then passing a number 101, comma, passing a name, and then I'm passing some other city here. Okay. Done. Okay. Right. Sorry, the bracket should be outside. Okay. Then, since you are inserting the row, to give the commit statement, mydb dot commit. Let me run this. Okay, it got completed. That means this record also would have been inserted. Now, in order to view the record, I have to give select. Right? Select cust ID, comma name, comma city from customer. Okay. Now let's give for statement for r in my cursor. Print r. So now it should display both the records, right? So run it. So I'm getting both the records 100, 101, John, Kathy. So these two rows we have successfully inserted into the table named customer, which is in the database mynewdb. All right. Okay. Next, let's say I want to update uh, the city field of John. Okay, John has a cust ID 100. So now what I do to update, I use a command called update. update, and then give the table name, update customer, and I give set. I want to set the city field, set equals, let's say I'm giving Columbus, where trust ID equals 100. So the meaning of this SQL statement is I'm going to update customer table, and the column that I'm going to update is city column, and the new value is going to be Columbus. Okay, and the record that I'm going to update is of cust ID 100. Otherwise, if I don't give where cust ID equals 100, this is going to update all the rows with Columbus, which we don't want. We want to update only for this cust ID. Okay, and after that, I'm going to give commit and running the program. Program completed. Now I go and give again select statement, select cust ID, name, city from customer. Okay. Now the for statement for t in my cursor print t. Okay. Now this should show the updated value. See now the city field of John has been changed from Miami to Columbus. Okay, that was the update statement. Okay. Now next step is, let's say I want to delete the entire row. I don't want this record of 100. I don't want this John record. I only want the last one. That means I want to delete row. Okay. So for that I have to give another SQL statement called delete. Delete from customer where cust ID equals 100. This statement is going to delete the entire row where cust ID is 100. Okay, now I give db dot commit, and let's run this program. It has completed. Now I go and check the rows. Giving select cust ID, comma name, comma city from customer. Now I should see only one record. So I have to run this. Or R in my cursor print R. So now you should see only one record is there. Only Kathy's record is there. John's record has been deleted. Okay. So that was the delete command. Okay. Now let's say I don't want the whole table. I don't want this customer table itself. Okay. So for that we give a command called, or SQL statement called drop. I give drop table customer. Okay. So if you drop table customer, the customer table will be deleted. Run this command. It has been executed successfully. Now to check whether it is deleted or not, I give the other statement called show tables, right? And then I run a loop for t in my cursor, print t. This should show if customer table is there or not. It's not showing anything because we have deleted the table. So now database is blank again. It has nothing at this point. Okay, that is was to delete tables. What if we want to delete the entire database? So now since we are already into the database, we cannot delete. So what we will do, we'll remove this database option from here. That means now when we log in, we'll be in the root, and from the root we can delete the database. If you are already into the database, we cannot delete it. That's why I have removed that option of database. All right. So for that, again I give to my cursor dot execute and give a statement called drop database and the database name, which was my new DB. Then I give my DB dot commit, run this program completed. Now to make sure the DB has been deleted, let's go back and give that command called show databases. Show databases, and I'm running a loop for D in my cursor, print D. So it should not print my DB now. It should not be there in the list. Now you see I do not have that my new DB in this place because it has been deleted. All right. So that's pretty much uh, about database and table manipulation using Python code. So what we have seen today is we have learned how to connect uh, MySQL, how to connect to MySQL database. We have seen that. We have learned how to view all the databases. Then we have seen how to create a database, how to create a table in a database, and then we learned how to insert new records in a table, and then how to delete a record in a table, how to update a record in a table, and how to delete the table itself, delete a table, and then how to delete a database. The whole operation we have performed today in this video. So please go ahead and review this video and practice all this SQL statement, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, thank you.